Welcome to week 15. Last week we talked about worry and how we need to stay in the present moment because most worry is in the past or in the future. So I hope you were able to do what I suggested by staring at something for a long period of time to get back to the present moment. Maybe you stared at your shoelaces. Maybe you went outside and looked at the clouds. Maybe you looked at the trees blowing in the wind. I don't know what it was, but just sitting quietly and really focusing. You know, the other thing that does is it slows time down. So this week I want to talk to you about emotional explosions. And those are things that happen when you've been triggered. That's the word that we use when all of a sudden you just snap or you scream at somebody or you just have a really out-of-body experience. All of a sudden it just happens and you're like, whoa, where'd that come from? That's a trigger. Now, triggers are coming at you from somewhere down deep, usually in your subconscious, that happened to you and that you felt unworthy, unheard, unloved, unappreciated, whatever it was. And then you get that emotional explosion as an adult and you realize, oh, I've just been triggered. So you are the one responsible to notice, I have been triggered. Now for me, when I get triggered, oh, it's so fast. I can hardly hang on to it to know what it was. But triggers for me come from a place of, I don't feel worthy. All right, so I know that when I was young, I didn't feel heard. I didn't feel safe. I didn't feel like people appreciated me for who I am. I was always in trouble, always worried about being in trouble. And so that feeling of not being appreciated, not being heard, just triggers me like there's nothing else. And so I have to be responsible to catch it before I say or do something that I can't take back. You know, it's, I can't remember the story, but it's called Nails in the Fence, I think. And it's like when you put nails in a fence, right, a wood fence, you've hammered nails in there and you go back to take them out. No matter what you do, there's still a hole left there by the nail. And that's what it's like when you say something or do something or shout at someone, burst out crying or whatever it is, you can't take it back. It's already done. And that's what happens when you're triggered. So the first thing you have to notice is being triggered. So those emotional explosions, you just stop and go, okay, something just struck a chord within me. I've got to figure that out. And you sit with it for a while and you think, what was I thinking before that happened? Now that isn't easy to do, but with practice, you'll hear that inner monologue telling you, oh, they don't appreciate you, or they're not listening to you, or they're making fun of you, or whatever it is that made you blow up. And that's when you need to just sit, listen, think, what just happened? What was I thinking? What did they say that triggered me? And then once you start investigating them, you'll realize, oh, it's the same theme over and over again. Just like my theme is, I don't feel like they appreciate me. I don't feel like they hear me. I don't feel like I'm loved, perhaps. And you know, it's not true. I am very loved. I'm very heard. I'm very well respected and treated. But that old trigger from when I was young comes dancing right up to the surface and I blurt out something well before I get a chance to stop it. Well, that's where the work comes in. Now, I have worked very hard, and so it gets better. I'm not perfect. I won't tell you I'm perfect because I'm not, but it's much better. I catch it much sooner. And the other thing I realize is that happens, these triggers happen a lot when I am worn out and tired. Like if I've spent too much of my energy doing things that I didn't really have my heart set on, like that I didn't really want to, I just did them because I was moving through the motions and I get worn out. Yeah, that's when triggers happen a lot because I don't feel good in the first place. I don't feel like I honored myself by doing all those things that I didn't really want to do, but I did them out of obligation. Right? I don't have to do them, but I did them because I thought, well, they'll think I'm a better person if I do that, or whatever it is up in my head that I'm thinking when I say yes to things I don't want to. And then I feel like I haven't even honored myself. And that's where that comes in, those triggers. And so you could be doing it to yourself, but mostly somebody else says something that gets you going, that makes you feel something, that makes you actually think something first, and then you feel something, and then you act. So thoughts create feelings, feelings create actions. So it begins with the thinking, but it happens so quickly you don't even know what you're thinking. And that's your job. You're going to sit with it and you're going to think about, what was that just happened? Now, and I'm telling you, for me, it's not reality. It's just me making it up, that I think that somebody said something. So here's the other thing. You need to learn to ask, what did you mean by that? And the moment you do that, the person has the opportunity to explain to you what they meant by what they just said. And you have the opportunity to learn that, no, what you thought was happening didn't actually happen. It's not easy, but it's doable with practice. So I challenge you this week to practice, asking people, what did you mean by that, when you don't understand? And if there's ever a moment when you feel that rage rising up in front of you, stop. And you say, okay, what's going on? Because I'm feeling that feeling. I'm feeling like I'm going to burst into tears, or I'm going to scream at somebody. And neither one of those is good. I mean, you don't need to burst into tears. It's fine to cry, but not because of something that isn't real. So I challenge you, all right? This week, we're going to work on that. And it goes right along with last week's work of being present. You need to be present. You need to be understanding, how am I feeling? And feelings generally come up in your body well before you notice them. All right. So you could feel maybe a sick feeling in the pit of your stomach. Maybe your arms feel weak, or your legs feel tingly, or whatever it is. Those feelings are telling you something needs attention. And those emotional explosions are a billboard saying this needs attention. So let's do it this week, all right? Oh, I hope so. Please, we need to work on this for ourselves. This work isn't for anybody else. It's for you. It's for me. All right. I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will talk to you next week. All right. Remember, don't forget to subscribe, like, and pass along. I need some help getting the word out. All right. So talk to you later. Bye.